No one cared about your league before Caitlin Clark. There were no opposing fans. You barely had home fans. And so no one cared. A couple 300,000 people were watching your games before Caitlin Clark. Playoff games.
The WNBA is in a total meltdown. The league's recently announced playoff ratings are a complete bust. And you know what? Things started to go south the minute Caitlin Clark left.
Let's stay here. Let's just say the ratings aren't the same with Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever now eliminated. That was down nearly 50% from last Sunday's Fever Sun contest. By the way, not only was viewership down, but attendance was as well. Do you want me to just say I told you so, or are you willing to say, Stephen A., you did tell us? Really?
After Caitlin Clark fans began boycotting the WNBA, you won't believe how low the numbers have fallen. Let me tell you something, though. Considering how horribly the WNBA handled Caitlin Clark, this was inevitable.
They're down. We knew they would be down. They're going to continue to go down 50% compared to what it was like with Caitlin Clark for the 2 games that she was in the postseason. Caitlin Clark's final WNBA playoff game, 2.5 million viewers. And then the best game since she's been eliminated, 929,000 viewers.
Isn't that unbelievable? Following Caitlin Clark and her team's elimination from the playoffs, the TV ratings have plummeted from 2.5 million to 900,000 views, and the audience has completely lost interest in watching women's basketball.
Caitlin Clark is the golden goose. If Caitlin Clark is the quote-unquote savior, if she's the golden girl, milk it!
People aren't paying attention, the stadiums are empty, and the message is clear. The Caitlin Clark effect is real, and the WNBA is struggling to survive without her. It's not just a dip, it's a plummet.
If you guys take a look at the stands, all the seats, even the courtside seats, are empty.
Many players detested seeing Caitlin Clark play, and now that she is no longer with them, they must face the harsh fact that the WNBA is nothing without her. No one wants to watch them, and
there are very, very few people, but there are some out there who resent the fact that this young white girl came out there and did her thing. Rookie of the Year, 4th in the league for MVP voting, assist leader, one of the top leading scorers after the Olympic Games. She put on a show, validating all the attention she was receiving. A rising tide lifts all boats.
We're discussing a sharp decline in viewership, and the league is currently dealing with a self-inflicted train crash.
Defending champions on the floor drew an audience of 929,000, according to ESPN. That is 50% less than the Fever's Game 1 against the Sun, and even less than the Fever's Game 2 against the Sun.
Not to mention that controversy was brewing as soon as the WNBA season began because Caitlin Clark seemed to be taking hits without any protection, and the referees weren't giving her the calls she deserved.
It's not just the sport, it's the entertainment of the sport, and you need to protect your superstars. And the WNBA has not done well this entire season of protecting their one superstar who brought in more eyeballs than anyone else has ever done in the league.
This is where the WNBA totally failed. They mishandled their biggest star from the first time she took the court, and rivals were rejoicing after tackling her on and off the court. Envious veterans were also continuously disparaging her. It wasn't just poor refereeing. Referees and the league as a whole treated Caitlin Clark disrespectfully. Recall this well-known eye poke incident.
Scratches Caitlin's eye with her long fingernails. She denies it was intentional, but watch, there it is. Hold on. So she goes for the ball, and then look, she points her hand down after the play, after the ball is passed.
There have been numerous scandals. The league has done nothing to shield her, and now we're witnessing the fallout. No call, no foul, and the referees simply ignored it. Could you picture the WNBA competing with the NFL in terms of viewership? Caitlin Clark made it conceivable, and now that she is gone, the WNBA can only dream about it.
Well, it appears that Caitlin Clark fans have listened. Last night, I received the ratings for the first round of games for the Chase for the Golden Toilet. Darkness is coming. The spotlight is rapidly fading.
Ratings were skyrocketing when she was lighting up the court, but now they've plummeted. The league needs Caitlin Clark, and without her, they're collapsing.
They can't draw attendance or television ratings without one woman living off the charity of men.
And it's not just about the tickets or the ratings. The WNBA is currently facing a much greater threat that threatens the franchise's future. It is evident that the WNBA has not only failed to establish the new audience that Caitlin Clark brought in, but they have also disregarded the ongoing criticism from both fans and analysts regarding player safety regulations.
And the refs should also be aware that the most eyeballs at any given moment are going to be on Caitlin Clark. So call it a special whistle, call it whatever you need it to be. If you don't want to have constant viral videos of other WNBA players fouling Caitlin and the internet being in an uproar, saying that players are doing this on purpose.
Beyond merely being the best player on the court, Caitlin Clark is the face of the WNBA and a movement. Her popularity is so high that it surpasses even TV ratings. Additionally, Caitlin Clark is in charge of the WNBA's merchandise sales. Her jerseys were topping the market and outselling all others.
Sales of WNBA merchandise are up over 500% versus the same period last year. The top-selling WNBA player merch, Caitlin Clark, #1 in jersey sales, Angel Reese 2, Sabrina 3.
Everyone wants to join the Caitlin Clark wave, but the WNBA is facing a significant obstacle after failing to maintain that momentum. Since Caitlin Clark is, let's face it, the sole reason some fans began following the WNBA, they are completely disinterested now that she has been ejected. How do you keep fans interested when she is not playing?
Guess what? For the first time in 15 years, I didn't consume 7 hours of commercial-free football. It was the first time in 15 years. Why? I wanted to watch Caitlin Clark play in the playoffs. End of story.
Given that Caitlin is currently on a 200-day vacation in Europe and won't be returning with the limelight that the franchise was enjoying, it poses a serious threat to the league's future prospects. Even worse, European leagues will be happy to welcome Caitlin Clark with open arms for a much higher fee and treat her with the respect she deserves.
But this is where it gets even more interesting. They can't put butts in the seats now, and it is hilarious. Not only was the viewership down, but the attendance was as well. The Sun matchup drew 8,500 fans. That's fewer than 50% of the total capacity of Target Center in Minneapolis. By the way, Caitlin Clark sold that joker out twice.
Guys, let's be honest. The WNBA failed to advertise Caitlin Clark.
WNBA ratings are embarrassing without Caitlin Clark. 0 games have sold out in the playoffs. Outside of Caitlin Clark, there was not a single game that eclipsed 500,000 viewers. Hell, they weren't even close to doing that. Once she is eliminated, will we see another game in the WNBA playoffs eclipse 1 million viewers? I say no. What about you?
Caitlin Clark's promotion of the WNBA caused ratings to plummet to the point where ESPN had to reschedule the playoff games to their secondary channel. The WNBA is rapidly losing viewers, and they are finding it difficult to attract them back in without Caitlin Clark.
There is no one like Caitlin Clark in the history of the WNBA.
Despite everything, some players continue to reject Caitlin's contribution to their game. Recently, A'ja Wilson criticized her fans for saying that her games are dull. Well, guess what? People aren't watching you because A'ja isn't enough to draw viewers. After watching Caitlin Clark play, people think A'ja's game is dull.
Us as black women, A'ja reminds me a lot of you. Like, A'ja is not really about me. And she knows how her privilege has gotten her to that point. And also, like, she's good at basketball, obviously. Like, she understands her privilege and like pushes her over the top in a sense. It reminds me a lot of.
One of the numerous issues with the WNBA is that just because people think your game is boring doesn't mean you should start acting like the victim and saying racist things like that.
This NBA playoff ratings dip post Caitlin Clark is the sports version of white flight and gentrification. You hate it when they're here. You don't like their presence. Oh my God, look at what they're doing. They're so awful. Then when they leave, the Caitlin flight, oh my God, I can't, what do we do now? Am I right or wrong?
I don't mean to offend, but many people no longer like watching the WNBA since Clark left.
WNBA has been around a couple of decades, and people didn't notice the game. They're noticing it now. Well, that's because of Caitlin Clark.
In addition, A'ja Wilson has been caught disparaging other athletes because of their skin tone and alleged white privilege. This is a problem that many WNBA players are currently dealing with. They refuse to acknowledge others based solely on their appearance, regardless of how skilled they are on the court.
Many of these people, like Asia, are so used to being able to dispense and force white guilt upon others that when people don't comply, then it becomes something they can't even handle, really. And so I just find this whole thing interesting about the television ratings and who's supporting, and now people are leaving.
And this is accurate for Caitlin Clark, who has faced unfathomable odds since making her league debut. You might be curious about how frequently Clark was singled out this season, as she was involved in nearly 20% of all fouls during the WNBA season.
That said, Caitlin Clark received 17% of the WNBA's flagrant fouls this season, and 80% of those flagrant fouls were committed by the Chicago Sky against Caitlin Clark.
Yes, that's correct. The WNBA had a generational talent like Caitlin Clark, and they couldn't even keep her safe on the floor. How can you not protect someone like that? 1/5 of all fouls were directed at her.
Hot topic going on right now. Caitlin Clark says she got cheap shotted against the Sky. I mean, throughout the season, she's been getting beat up. Hard screens, elbows, knocked down. It is what it is. I've seen a couple girls smirk when she's got knocked down, half-assed to pick her up. Like, y'all supposed to protect the asset, protect the star. And all this is the team. She's the star. You always protect your.
And if that wasn't enough, Caitlin Clark didn't even receive a unanimous vote for Rookie of the Year. Angel Reese received one secret vote, and it was biased since it took something away from Caitlin Clark.
But from now until eternity, whenever you mention Caitlin Clark in some form or fashion, as you reflect on her rookie season, as you reflect on the awards, the record she set, and then ultimately the award she received, it will always be tied to Angel Reese, who got the one vote that kept Caitlin Clark from being the unanimous Rookie of the Year.
Everyone is aware that Caitlin Clark was the league's Rookie of the Year, hands down, but the WNBA somehow ruined that as well. Did you know how the WNBA handled her Rookie of the Year award?
Title?
A record-breaking season for you and the entire team, full of outstanding performances, and I know all of you had hard work and dedication, and it's paid off with your playoffs, etc. And I know the best is yet to come. So, congratulations, Caitlin. You are the 2024 Kia WNBA Rookie of the Year.
You know where it's going. She called the coach of the Indiana Fever to inform her of the news in the most casual way possible. Instead of giving Caitlin Clark the recognition she deserved, the commissioner called her up with the news. There was no big ceremony, no prize, just a phone call. Well, at least Clark and the team were happy, but it's pathetic that they treat the player who attracted more attention to the WNBA than anyone else. The players have to deal with the issue, and it's not just a problem. It goes all the way down to the comm level, which is the level that needs to control these kinds of things right now. What do you think about the WNBA blowing it with Caitlin Clark? Can they recover? Please leave a comment below and remember to like. Additionally, sign up for more WNBA and Caitlin Clark alerts.